Uh, Before we go into prayer, I just want to give a quick encouragement coming from the book of Mark, where it talks about the disciples being on a boat and Jesus calmed the storm, well, because there was a storm while they were in the boat. But it says in Mark chapter 4, verses 35 to 41, it says, "As evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, 'Let's cross to the other side of the lake.' So they took Jesus in the boat and started out, leaving the crowds behind, although other boats followed. But soon a fierce storm came up. High waves were breaking into the boat, and it began to fill with water. Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. The disciples woke him up, shouting, 'Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown?' When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, 'Silence, be still.' Suddenly the wind stopped, and there was a great calm. Then he asked them, 'Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?' The disciples were absolutely terrified. 'Who is this man?' they asked each other. 'Even the wind and waves obey him.'" This is one of my favorite stories in the Bible. Every time I'm going through a storm in life, I like to read back on this passage. We live in a dark world. We live in a world where there are so many things going on. If you watch the news, then you would know. But even in our personal lives, I believe that we have some moments and seasons where we go through trials. Sometimes we fall into the darkness, in a sense, where we sin and we fall into temptation. And even in this kind of world that we live in, even if we do those things or we're around those things, we still expect the good that comes out of it. We still think that life will be full of comfort and pleasures. Sometimes we go through life and, we make mistakes and we go through trials, but, our minds are everywhere. However, when it comes to experiencing real trouble and real trial, storms, not literally actual natural storms, but depression, anxiety, poverty, those types of storms or disasters in our lives, we start to wonder where God is. Because when things are heavy, we think, "God, where are you? Where is your healing? I can't feel your healing power or restoration." Although we believe in God, we still question, "Lord, why do you allow these storms? Why do you allow these pains to happen?" Right? So we go back to the passage, and the disciples, they didn't expect the storm to happen. They wanted a smooth sailing across the sea. However, they experienced the storm and they began to panic. So they questioned Jesus and said, did he even care that we were gonna drown? Imagine you're in a boat and there's a storm and the people you're with are just sleeping. You're like, "Don't you care that we're about to die?" But then Jesus woke up and he calmed the storm. So at that moment, the disciples, they saw Jesus in a whole different way, in a new way, and they were so amazed. The disciples even said, "Who is this man that even the wind and waves obey him?" The storm caused them to see Jesus as an almighty, as a powerful God, the kind of power that he has even over the physical things of the universe. Now, going back to, why would God allow disasters or troubles to happen in our lives? The same way that Jesus allowed the storm to happen to him and the disciples, which is for us to see, which is for him to show and manifest his power and his glory. If this storm didn't happen, the disciples may have not seen the power that Jesus had, the authority that he has even over the wind and the waves. You know, hardships in our life, they reveal the power of God. So when we go through storms, God reveals his power to where we see him in a new light. We see God as magnificent when he calms our storms. It may not happen right away, but he will. And this is why I love what it says in 2 Corinthians 12:9, where it says, "My power works best in weakness." And this is true, because when we go through storm, maybe you've experienced it, God has calmed the storm in our hearts, in our minds, and restored it for better. And maybe you are going through a storm right now. Maybe not a literal storm, but you're in a waiting season, you're going through a trial, you feel different, low, anxious, depressed. Whatever storm that is right now, big or small, it's still a storm. But tonight, I encourage that you open your heart to God today. Remember that he is omnipotent and he can turn the evil for good. I think I was reading it in one of our devotions, but I think it's even in the book of Matthew, I believe, or Romans, but it says that God can turn evil to good. Even if evil may be happening to us right now, God can turn that around and create a good purpose that will come out of it. So even if we are going through trials right now, I believe that we will see the power of God and the hand of God in it. Let's look at the Lord with greater understanding of who he is. Just because we're going through storms or trials at the moment, it doesn't change who God is. He is still sovereign. Even if our circumstances may look otherwise, the Lord never changes, and we can hold on to that hope. It may be tough now, but he will show his power. He will show his mighty hand even in the storms. He can calm whatever it is we may be going through. So even if our circumstances or trials don't change, the Lord is our comforter and he calms us down. He gives us peace that surpasses all understanding. It says in Psalm 94:14, I believe, it says that even when anxiety is great within me, his consolation, his comfort brings me joy. Some of us feel like we have nothing else to hold on to when we're going through hardship or trials. But the Bible is full of promises, and God is faithful to his promises. He keeps his promises. So if he tells us that we just have to be still and know who he is, then we'll be still and know who he is. And sometimes it's just God that we can really hold on to, and that's okay. That's enough. Sometimes we're looking for other things, other people that we can hold on to, and maybe people don't satisfy us or give us what we need, but that's okay, because we have God and he is enough. So even if you feel weak at this very moment, it's the Lord who will give you strength. It's the Lord who will keep you going. So many of us say, well, God hasn't been with me, but you're still standing, and the only reason why you're standing is because of him. So we hold on to that. So tonight we're going to open our hearts up to God in prayer. We're going to lift up everything, every concern, whether it's a prayer request you've sent or something that you're going through personally. But we're going to pray, and we're going to thank God for his goodness. Despite any trials, he is still worthy to be praised, and we should still come to him with a heart of gratitude, no matter what we may be dealing with.